from that piece of shit to
Another
Justice
piece.
League.
Another piece?
Yeah, this was the one that's, like I say, this is gonna end. Well, like I was saying over the past set of podcasts, whether this is gonna end the 2017 year of superhero movies on a high note or not so much. I don't know, but I know the history behind it. You know, just the drama, the post-production stuff. I know it's really was gonna affect this film a lot. You know, for one thing, the death of Zack Snyder's daughter, and then the fact that they had to bring in Joss Whedon to reshoot some scenes and stuff like that. Then bringing in Henry Cavill again to do some reshoots, even though he was working on Mission Impossible 6, I think it was.
Yeah.
So they had to do some digital stuff.
It's contractually obligated mustache.
Yes.
Mustache
bullshit, eh?
Mustache.
That'd be big.
Couldn't just do up a little fake
man
thing
serious.
or something. I don't know.
Okay, so
But you know,
right,
It's Tom Cruise's fault.
I mentioned
Yes,
this
it
earlier.
is.
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier.
blame Skydance for that.
Right, I mentioned this earlier. The whole look, is it that he can't shave the mustache, which is fine. I get that. But you gotta get him a beard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Someone have the beard.
Yes.
That's the beard. Look, here's the thing. We already have seen Henry Cavill with a beard in Man of Steel.
Yes.
Guys, he looks good with the beard. So when I
Yes,
see
he
him with the
does.
beard, this is like, alright, buddy, go on, get him, get one.
He
Hey, looking good with the beard.
Yeah, let's
perfect
have
hair.
a throwaway line to say,
I get that he doesn't
body
decompose,
system.
but
Or
his
when
beard
he
didn't
regenerates,
grow.
he just have a beard.
Whatever.
I
That's
just,
actually a really
He had
good
the
point.
chest
This
hair.
one.
He had the chest hair.
He had the beard.
the hair not growing bothered me a lot because you already said his cells don't decompose, which means everything keeps growing.
Right.
Where is his hair?
Get
How
the
is
beard.
his hair perfectly coiffed and gelled and everything?
That's
bothers
the
Yeah.
me.
perfect time to have mullet.
Thank
Well, that's,
you.
no, that's another thing. Like, okay, so look, this is a dumb comic book thing, but sorry. Hashtag mullet for Superman.
Yeah.
Or if you want to get modern, man bun. Kinda corny, but whatever.
They could have given him Thor hair. They could
Whatever.
have given him long
Yeah.
Thor hair and it would have worked.
Wasted opportunity. But instead,
But I love that
this
scene.
this is the, again, the whole mustache gate thing is totally the exact mindset with this DC UPU. Which
Right.
is,
Right.
they rather take this route, the less creative route, the more costly route,
Mm.
because if I understand, it costs a lot of money just to do that
Yeah.
bullshit. And it looked terrible.
Every
scene with
ILM do
four
this,
months
right?
later.
ILM do the
Right. But it's wetter?
I'm
Wetter?
supposed to
Nah,
be better
nah.
than that.
Nah, I think on top, weather is like top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have known if
Right.
ILM was
ILM is
involved with this
always
movie.
like hit or miss.
Right.
Yeah. But the biggest thing with this movie here, well, the thing that was like the ultimate red flag for me was Warner Brothers' mandate that this movie had to be 2 hours
Yeah, that was a huge
and no
That's
more,
the biggest
because
mistake
apparently
ever.
people were dissatisfied by the theatrical, not the director's cut, or whatever you want to call it, the theatrical cut of BVS. It was like, oh well, people don't want to sit down for that long, so we have to make this thing 2 hours or else, folks.
Again, finding the wrong things to focus on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That mean
Nobody
nothing to the
cares.
fans. We
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
If it is 3 hours of quality, we sat through Lord of the Rings. I know people who sit through the extended cut, which is like 4 hours, and love it. They tell me they watch it every single year. They watch all the films, even though it's like 16 hours of footage.
Yeah.
Good
And
thing,
they
good
love
thing I
it.
bring up Lord of the Rings, because I'm gonna bring that up in a spoiler. But continue.
Right. So, if again,
Yeah.
focusing on the wrong things, spending money on the wrong
Stupidness,
things,
yeah.
when small, simple ideas could work
Yeah.
better.
Because the
Right.
problem with BBS is not that it was too long, is that you cut out the wrong parts. If that movie was long, it would have been better probably.
The
Or if
story
if
was
it
more
3.5 hours, people would have probably been pleased with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you do the right things.
Yeah, I had them back.
Right.
Okay.
Wetter do the special effects.
Right.
Just
Yeah, I know
on top.
ILM is supposed to be
Right.
pretty good because they
And
did all the
Wetter
Star
is-
Wars stuff on it,
Right,
right?
right,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is Justice League about, boy?
Oh boy.
Ricardo, you want to
Right,
fill us
that
in
was
on
good.
what that movie is
So,
about?
you know, alright. So, apparently, a bad guy by the name of Steppenwolf came to Earth to look for
A
something.
bad CGI guy.
A bad CGI
A bad CGI guy
Bad
named
CGI
Steppenwolf.
once decided to come to Earth to look for something called Martha's boxes, right? And 3 of these Martha's boxes, all of them, it's actually called a mother's box, but I think you might get the joke by now.
Ba-doomps.
Yeah, and all of them apparently could do something to the Earth, which is a big comic book thing, right? What mother boxes are is they're basically teleportation type devices. But they're like pure energy, it's not clear. What they could do is a kind of supercomputer one time, an AI, something. Basically, it's a kind of all-in-one super device kind of thing.
Think Marvel's Tesseract Cube and you
Right,
kinda
basically it's
have
a
an
super,
idea of
right,
what it
special
is.
cube, right? So they could teleport, but they kind of smart on their own, there's pure energy, blah, blah, blah. And basically, if you put enough of them in one place, what you could do is basically turn a planet into Steppenwolf's home world.
Right.
Well, no,
basically,
in the comic, which is similar to Man of Steel, whatever. Anyway, that's his plan. He basically want to turn Earth into
His home planet.
which is Apocalypse, which is a kind of weird fire pit place with these big, huge volcano type structures, which we kind of saw in the weird future flashback thing that
It's
Batman
still
saw.
no work for me. But
Whatever. And so Batman, because he saw the future flashback thing, he said, "Alright, I want to look for super people." And we saw that all that in Batman v Superman. He got Wonder Woman to help him out to look for super people. He found that guy from Mindhunter was in this too in the beginning.
oh, that was him?
Yeah, it was a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dude from Mindhunter.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't realize that.
Yes, you get a little bit part. Anyway, so Batman now, what he did, he found one of the parademons. The parademons kill itself, and that's why you think it have 3 cubes. You don't know what the cubes are about because you saw the same cubes in Luthor's notes. Apparently, Luthor, it's still not clear how Luthor get this information. Whatever.
I know, right? Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Basically, he decided to form a super team to stop the super guy, the bad guy, from stopping everything.
Yes.
That's the plot,
And in that team, well, the other members would be Aquaman,
right?
played by Jason Momoa.
Aqua Bro,
Yeah, Aqua Bro.
the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aqua Dude.
Flash.
The Flash, right.
Ezra Miller.
Yes.
This is the 3rd time we've seen him, but this is like his official introduction into the DCEU.
Yeah.
We have Cyborg, who is played
Yes.
by Ray Fisher.
Yes.
And of course, we have Wonder Woman once again played
Comes
by
back, right.
yeah.
And the movie opened with Wonder Woman saving some lives and kicking some ass.
Yes.
Pretty
Great.
decent.
Great.
Probably one
Yeah,
of the
pretty
best
decent.
scenes
Yeah,
of
it's
the
an
movie.
action sequence.
Yeah, I love the little callback they did to the her team
Movie,
music.
yes.
Right.
But this I'll just jump in just one person that I
Everybody
really
had
like.
the kind of like their own music thing, I think, going on.
Well,
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
had their own
Yeah.
score.
Yeah.
I love that
All I
they
do
use.
was
I love that they
surf
use Icky Thump for Aquaman because I really love that song.
Yeah.
All I really do for me was serve to show like how iconic those like John Williams score and Daniel
Right.
Yes, yes,
scores and how generic the music
Is now.
the music is.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
It's instantly recognizable. As
yeah.
I hear that
They
Batman,
did use Batman.
yeah, they use Batman
Yeah.
theme, they use Superman theme,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's so instantly recognizable
Yes.
that when you hear the other music, it's like, what is this?
Yeah. So alright, so I'll just say so my one positive I have with this movie is the music that was done by Danny Elfman of all people. Like they got Danny Elfman, the guy who composed the score for Batman and Batman Returns,
Yeah, I don't
to
like
do
music
this.
at all.
I was like, wow, they got him though, the heavy hitters. Cause I know that Hans Zimmer was like, alright, this is my full German accent. I can't work with these guys anymore. You had me doing all this music for Batman v Superman and it was too much for me. I can't do this. I'm done. I'm gonna work with Nolan from now on, or whatever it is. But yeah, he was dissatisfied. Well, not dissatisfied, but he did feel kind of tired and he was just like, alright, I'm done. This is the hardest thing I had to do. Even though when you hear the score for BVS, it's just so abrasive and loud and in your face.
I
Especially the
can't
Batman
remember.
song. That it was just too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But with Danny Elfman here, it was a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more optimistic. It did feel like you were watching a comic book movie again. It's a little lighthearted. I love that he harkened back to his iconic Batman score without playing it again. So it's that for the entirety of Batman Seas. I like the little cue he took from John Williams' Superman team. That was cool. He gave other characters some teams as well. I like that he did a little call back to Wonder Woman's team. That was nice. Overall, I really did enjoy this score, this musical score. It really did add to the lighter, quote-unquote, tone of the movie. But your thoughts on the movie,
Yes.
Ricardo?
Right, so I much like with Suicide Squad, I went into nothing good. I said, look, it's gonna be a mess. I don't expect it to be good. Let me turn it off and try to enjoy it as much as I can. I don't operate in bad faith when it comes to films. I root
Yeah.
for films to be good.
Nobody wants to see a bad film.
Thank you. I don't.
Nobody
root-
wants to spend money to see a bad
I don't
film.
root for bad
Ah.
movies to fail. Almost never.
Yeah, but you just watch the extended cuts. So
But
let
then
me hear
in
your
theaters,
excuse.
I don't spend money to see it. Just like Wayne, I find
Right,
sources online.
When the
That's
movie was going on,
Right.
when I saw the movie opened strong. It was doing some little interesting stuff here or there. And then they decide, like, this is going to be a Super Friends episode. That's basically what we got.
Mhm.
You know, if anybody remember Galactic Guardians, it's basically that. That's what it felt like. And I was like, alright, look, you kind of give up. I kind of get it. Look, this Snyder Vision stuff, you're done, you fail, moving on. And I don't really hate that. I don't really hate that that could be the future.
Now we can move on.
You can move from that.
Mhm.
Look, especially when you see the post-credit scenes for this, you'll totally get where I'm coming from. It's like, yeah. They did, okay, so again, look, the movies are hot mess. I'm just going to be clear about this. The movies are hot mess. A lot of it didn't make sense. A lot of it wasn't gelling with the previous mythology and lore that was being built up, especially with the quote-unquote return of Superman, which is not a big spoiler.
No, it's
Because, holy shit, we kind of knew this coming back, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't a big
Them
secret.
trailers,
Right.
yo.
And it was just a big clumsy mess, but it was fun. I can't in good conscience say I didn't have fun with this. Especially when Superman started coming back and essentially was being Superman. Like,
Yeah.
look at me,
Yes.
look at me be awesome.
Yes.
And that was it. You just
That,
being
that
awesome.
one sequence alone with him squaring off against the other Just
Right,
League members
right.
was
But then
worth
final
the,
action
the,
sequence,
the,
there's one
the
moment I
mission
actually really love. As it involving an apartment building research. I thought that was the best part of the movie. That was my
Yeah.
favorite part of the movie by far.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, you get to see Flash and then you see what Superman could do. And that was hilarious and it was funny and it worked. They had some corny ass lines, but I like pass.
Yeah.
Kal-El, stop!
No, but that's right, that, but no, the part where you say I like truth and I like justice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm a big fan of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And justice as well. And I was
And
like, alright,
justice
well,
as well.
Justice
yeah.
as
look,
well.
I tell myself,
There were lines that actually the rhythm got thrown off completely from the conversation because
Right.
the line felt like
Line delivery in this movie was a
Atrocious.
huge
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Huge problem.
no, but when it dropped it, I was like, I was just watching, I was just in my head, I was like, just seeing a tiny version of himself eating cereal on Saturday morning in his boxers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, alright, well, look, if he like it, I
Just without that corny guy who used to do the narration for the old Super Friends show.
Right.
Meanwhile, back in the Legend of Doom
I
with the
actually
Super
said that
Friends.
line at the end of the movie though.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, it was that. It was
And we
that.
didn't get
I-
Wendy Marvin and Wonder Dog. Where are they? When
No,
are they
no,
going to be
no, no,
shown
I
on
was-
screen,
I was
yo?
totally
Come on.
expecting- I was expecting-
Wonder Dog.
I was expecting the Wonder Twins to show up as a floating point.
oh,
Like,
please,
seriously.
God, no.
No, yeah. I was expecting that shit. Like, seriously, it was that. They went there with it. And they gave up on Snyder Division. They gave up on it. They didn't know what they were doing. It have a term. It's a very big word, fancy term that we use. It's called verisimilitude.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're doing with that. You have to, when they're saying, well, this is what Superman might feel like if he actually showed up. Well, you F that up. Sorry. And look, I want to see some other filmmaker do it properly. This is not going to be those films.
Yeah.
At this point, I want to see Patty Jenkins do Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will do a good job with
Please.
it, hopefully, because she's actually serious and nobody getting in the way with bullshit.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman I expect to be okay. Wonder Woman
With
2.
James Wan.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see. We don't know what's going on there, but I hope. Look, the studio needs to chill out. Stop interfering.
WB. Yeah, they
Give
need to
the
take a back seat.
material, make it work. Justice
Have
League
some
was chopped to
faith
bits.
in your directors and
Yes.
just
Yeah,
back
Because
off.
it's no fly by night
Yeah.
directors.
Yes.
It's like top tier directors.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's
So-
like trust them.
Exactly. And at this point, look, I didn't hate the movie. It had a lot of dumb bullshit in it. But I had some fun with this. I can't in good conscience say it wasn't Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman, I was
Thank God.
angry. I was actually angry. Very few movies could
Yeah.
do that to me. And Batman, it's like, what, 5 movies ever do that to me? Coming out of the theater where you're actually pissed off. It actually make your life worse.
Oh, you didn't see Baywatch?
I didn't watch that, but I didn't care. No, I saw
No,
that.
we didn't
but-
see it in theaters.
I saw that, but,
But
it's like,
yeah, it
that
was
pissed
bad.
me off.
It was
Because I wasn't invested in
pissed me
Baywatch.
off.
No, I wasn't invested in Baywatch. It's movies that I thought would have been great, and then they F it up.
Right.
So, like, okay, I could tell you what the movies off the top of my head. That, Batman Superman for sure. Spider-Man 3.
Star Trek Nemesis.
Spider-Man 3, yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek Nemesis.
Star Trek Nemesis, that is one. I can't remember the other two right now. But yeah, it have a couple of movies like that. It's just, you can't believe they make this. Like,
Yeah.
you, could, you know, always in the movie has always reference.
You mean from this year?
Yeah, no, these are classic movies. Watch. Come on to, shit. How do you fuck that?
Oh gosh, a history of violence. How
History of
did you
Violence,
do that?
exactly. Yeah. Now I've seen a movie called History of Violence where these characters also do something and they messed up, and the fellow was like, "How do you fuck that up?" That's it. And that was Batman v Superman for me. And then I gave up. I was like, "All right, look, it didn't make sense. Everybody who's supposed to be at fault hiding and bullshitting, and you'll be fine. I'll find out the real story about what happened to that like 10 years from now at least."
Yeah.
Right? I know, like recently, the Goya script came out before Chris Terrio came aboard, and I heard that he was the good side of what went down. So that kind of weird.
Okay.
Like, so what Chris Terrio was doing, I thought he had the talent. Whatever. Yeah, I didn't hate this movie. I don't know, bullshit. Mustache Gate was a mess.
Yeah, boy, from the opponents.
Right, but it had its moments. It had its moments.
Yeah, boy.
Flash running at the end was so goddamn dumb and pissed me off.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That
That
run, that
Yes.
Yeah, that went
like
I don't know what
What's
that
wrong with his legs?
Yeah, everything
he
was
almost
flop-
looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah, we were just
He was
flopping
good.
about.
like even Flash's run in the intro for season 4, Flash looked way better than
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I
was on
know
this.
the TV series Flash win.
Yeah.
Right, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I thought
No, Ezra Miller was fine.
Yeah.
No, I thought
Flash was
No, I thought
in the design of
Yeah.
that character.
No, I thought they would have his run and be like a gazelle or something like that, where he just hopping.
Right.
Because he's not
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
But the whole point is this kind of borderline teleport kind of thing now.
Yeah.
So, but then they had this weird. What was that?
Yeah,
That
something with his
particular
his
scene.
arms.
I think
though.
it was
I don't
like-
know.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
just so bad.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't hate this. I had fun with it. Moving on.
Right.
I
Timothy,
did-
I know you are a diehard DC
DC
fan.
fan,
Represent. Don't be ashamed.
Right.
So,
Are
what
we
were
doing
your
spoilers?
thoughts?
How much in the spoilers we going?
Let's
Nah,
go
you
on
can
to
go ahead,
spoilers.
Yeah, we could jump into spoilers. You might as well. So,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on Justice League?
So I had fun with this.
Okay.
No, I made probably like the biggest sin, and I looked at 1 minute of a review online.
Okay.
So I knew basically what I was getting myself into.
Right.
So what I did, I transitioned into animated universe.
Right.
So I went into this expecting I know it was going to be 2 hours and 1 minute inclusive of credits. So I was like, I want 50 minutes. So I was like, well, the animated movies will be like, I want 20 minutes. So this is what I'm going to get.
Right.
And I had fun with it.
Right.
So I had a lot of problems, but the better aspects of it, they overrided that.
Right.
And I was happy with each individual, and the film had a lot of moments. And the thing is, it had many moments. It didn't have 1 or 2 moments in between, like how we could say BBS had 1 or 2 moments
Right.
that we could redeem. But this had a lot of moments for me. I was happy with Ezra Miller's Flash,
Right.
Aquaman. In the trailers, you always hear him with his surfer voice and this kind of rad. And
Right.
like I was
Yeah.
kind of scared about that, but he actually played off well. There was this one scene where Wonder Woman used her lasso on him.
I
Oh,
love
that
it.
was
That was one of the
brilliant.
best scenes.
Right, that's
of
cool.
the
Cut
movie.
me off
Yeah.
that. Cut
That was
me
one of
off
the
that.
best scenes of the
It's
movie.
back.
Yeah.
Car,
Like,
car.
you're just gorgeous, man.
And you start wondering, what is going
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Went from this
Oh,
to like,
okay.
and I'm young and I don't want to die.
And you're just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the best scenes. I had a problem with how they brought back Superman.
Yeah.
I think they had
Clumsy.
so many other options. I
Clumsy.
mean, you could have included the Fortress of Solitude having some kind of backup. You know, when they
The Codex.
Yeah.
Remember the Codex?
The first movie.
Yeah.
Remember the Codex?
And the thing is, Flash and Cyborg, they were basically Grave Robin. So it's like, do you really have to be Grave Robin at this point in time?
That was
And-
weird.
And if you wanted to do it, Flash
They-
could have done it within like.
Well,
they
they
tried to
tried-
address
they
it.
tried
right?
to
They
address it, but
tried
still it was
to.
kind of
Yeah.
awkward.
It was a
Yeah.
clumsy move.
I can do
Yeah.
this quick, but you know,
Yeah.
No, I-
we'll do it so we can have some
So,
position.
Yeah.
So,
I like the chemistry between Flash and Cyborg though.
Right.
I feel like that could be the body cop movie.
right.
Probably going forward with Flash. Wonder Woman, she was the standout.
Right.
I think she held her own again, and she led in all the battles, which was probably the best part, because we understood that Aquaman is new to this. Batman can no way in hell fight Steppenwolf.
Well, they did say that Batman wanted her to lead the team, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So-
did address it.
Yeah. So those were the best parts. Ray Fisher surprised me though. I didn't expect him to be that good in the role. I was
Right.
worried about his
Yeah,
CGI.
I was worried about him
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
I thought he would have been flat, but he wasn't so bad. He had like
Yeah.
a decent enough.
Yeah, I was worried about his CGI, but his look, and in the end when he got the circle on his chest and those things, it looked okay. But his CGI generally was bad in the movie, but his CGI was the better part of
Right.
that bad. Everything else, if you look at it from the animated point of view, it's good.
Right.
Because I'm editing my review right now, and spoilers, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Because I
He's
had
a
that
DC
much fun
fan.
of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I have problems with it, but every time I think about problems, then I think about Danny Elfman. I'm like, fuck that, yes?
Right.
That score with it, boy. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
score
yeah.
made it for me. 1989 Batman,
Right.
and then you could hear Superman, the score for Superman underline everything. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, this could work. I could feel it.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller, he was a standout, but I think I prefer Gal over Ezra Miller's Flash.
Right.
His chemistry, I was still a bit lost with him and Batman, and
Right.
the redeeming quality for him is like he was the audience in the movie.
Well,
It's
okay,
like,
Yeah,
so-
the street man.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing with the character. I thought the character's kind of weird, and I had to stick it with the character's
Flash.
Right, the character's supposed to be autistic.
I think that's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Actually,
that's what they were going for.
It is unclear to me because they made
Yeah.
a big deal about the brunch thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, well,
That's a good point. Like,
And then him
I
needing
think
friends.
it's more socially inept.
something. Well, you know,
He's like
You're
your
talking
class.
about like, you can't interact with people because
Yeah.
it's too hard to focus
Right,
on
right.
person for
Yeah.
too
something,
long.
right.
Yeah.
So
And they get
Then
it connected,
everybody's
right,
too
and then you get
slow.
it
You have problems connecting.
and then
with people.
Yeah.
because he have this flash thing that could be a part of that.
yeah.
Something, maybe.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, but so he was like the audience in the movie, whereas, for DC fanboy looking up at his screen and being like, wow, finally we get Justice League on the screen.
Yeah.
It was the same for him. He was like, shit, the bat signal, the
Right.
bat key.
Yeah, yeah.
And that came across really well.
Yeah.
Right.
The only part of the movie that has me worried was Mira. I don't
Right,
know
that's
if you-
yeah.
a little flat, yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like I
Little
wanted Amber is hot as hell.
Yeah.
But I felt like that one
They
minute of her
had
acting
zero chemistry.
was zero. Yeah, same thing I'm
And the
saying.
line delivery and that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
flat
real-
though.
It's flat,
Yeah.
yeah, it's flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing where she used her powers. That
Oh,
was
right.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, we
That
know,
was
right.
cool.
Because that
And
is her
actually
power.
using the bubble to
Yeah,
talk
for
about
telesis,
those things.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that was cool.
I did love that they showed what she could do
Yeah.
and they did it in that short moment. So
Yeah.
as a fan, if you know the character, you instantly recognize what she was doing.
Yeah, a lot of people saying, well, Aquaman is kind of immature to be the king of Atlantis, I think.
He's
But
not the king of Atlantis
as
at that
yet.
point. Yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's basically immature. So
Yeah.
he will mature into the role
Yes,
whenever that
yeah.
day
Yeah,
comes.
when you see the Aquaman movie, then you're supposed to see his arc.
Yeah.
You know, but I think a lot of people didn't realize that
Which
he's
is-
not the king of Atlantis.
Which he
in
should have
this
done
movie.
before, frankly, but
And
whatever.
they never bring it up. That's another thing. Is
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
assume everybody in the cinema knows what's going on.
That's one of my
Yeah, that's
So
one
they
thing I'll
should
talk
have
about too.
said
Yeah.
that it could have been done with Mira.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you feel like you don't belong, but you have a purpose here. You are the future king.
Yeah.
Something like, and right there people know, oh, okay, he's not the king of Atlantis. But
Yeah.
I think half the audience left not recognizing
Not
that.
knowing. And
Right.
Justice League needed to be 30 to 40 minutes longer.
Wow.
Because we
Totally agree.
needed the first act. We all could tell Zack Snyder directed the first act. The way it's cut. And you could tell just by the color grading of the screen. It's like, this is 300 with Flash and Cyborg. That is basically how it looked. So you could tell that you needed to explain, because everybody else in the theater was just giggling around me for every single word. I was mad as
Boy.
hell. And just giggling for everything.
I
It's
had
like,
some
Yeah.
tweens
Shut
when I went to
up,
see
man.
this.
I had a
giggling
good
and
audience.
everything.
Yeah,
The only
yeah,
thing
I
is
thought-
like when the guys take
Nah.
off the shirts here like, woo!
Yeah.
Up in
Yeah,
there, but
I thought I was in trouble with my audience because we are sitting down next to some teenagers. But it was alright.
Right, I had
Yeah.
some guys behind me, younger kids. You could tell them like
Yeah.
all 14. They were kind of annoying, interrupting, but they cooled down.
Yeah.
What was really good? There's a total anecdotal side thing. Somebody show up like about, I don't know, like about 30 minutes for the movie to go,
Yeah.
and somebody show up in the theater with full
Popcorn.
snacks and they're like, and I said, no, okay, I'll tell you which part it was when Superman take Lois back to the Kansas.
oh my god.
Wait,
Yes.
that's
I
all
said,
my
I was
goodness.
like-
Started the third half.
Okay, you don't have the Obama gift where Obama
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Obama just put his hands up.
Yeah.
Like, that's me. I was like, are you
Yeah.
serious? Here, I'll make this worse now. Story gets worse. Freaking death. Okay, so it was movie town south now. So it's like, wait now.
I went C10, so.
C3.
Well,
I went C3.
C3, yeah.
No, I went C10. Well, so.
Oh, that's a south
Oh,
park, right?
okay.
Yeah. Freaking them interrupting the people who sit down there, or, all in the wrong seat. I'm like,
What?
bruh, are you serious?
Come on.
IMAX.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
but
like how long or there was in that line at the concession stand?
that was studying dread. I was like, bruh, are you serious? Like, fight, and I realized this is all over, eh?
Yeah.
And then fighting out people, so they totally. I missed a bunch of dialogue there. Like I
Wow.
when Lois and Clark was talking.
We didn't miss
Oh,
much.
not much.
Yeah, like, I
Yeah,
realized.
yeah.
Cause I was watching, I was like, well, I kind of.
Yeah.
Nah, but
Lovey-dovey, you had to
But
go and
just,
see the
I'm
world
back
kind of thing.
now. Oh, you're back now.
Yeah.
Look,
Right.
mother, you had to go and
What is
fight
that
again.
feel like?
I saw when the mother come back.
No, but she was like, don't die this time when you go and
You
fight.
can tell the Run P app with a kicking right about it.
No,
Run
right.
and P right now, this is what happens.
Yeah.
And they actually had a hawk just to show you.
I'm gonna check that right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check Run P now to see if that's true. Seriously.
Yeah,
But-
sponsored
but
by the Run P Act.
And in the beginning too, remember not everybody who goes into a theater knows the background of Flash,
True.
Cyborg and all these people.
Yes.
So you
Right.
needed that. That was like the most obvious thing.
Yes.
So I was kind of surprised that they cut it up, especially in the trailers.
And
I
it could
think
have been
90% of the
very
trailers
quickly
are not
done,
in the
huh?
movies.
It could have been very quickly done. Well,
Yeah.
my boyfriend was like, so where's the scene with Alfred telling somebody he said you would
Yeah,
come?
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Go
babe,
on.
that was what you call trailer bait.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So to make you think there was gonna be somebody there that wasn't there, you know?
Where's the scene with Ray Fisher when he's doing the football thing?
Cut
Yes.
Walking
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
With Flash when he's touching the glass.
Glass, yeah.
And
Cut
this
that.
is
Like
where
they
they're
cut
gonna put their
everything.
hand in your pocket and say extended cut.
Yeah.
So that's where you're
So-
gonna get that.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that too.
So I generally enjoyed it.
Right.
And
Brutal.
being a DC fanboy, I'm happy with it.
Right.
But I could see the problems with it. I can't deny that there are problems, but I'm happy with it. And I think I'm more happy knowing that there's going to be less of Zack Snyder. Like that's my
I
biggest
can agree
takeaway
to
of
that,
it.
yeah.
It's like less of Zack Snyder. I hope Joss Whedon stays on because
Me
I
too.
like the color of Superman's costume when he came
Yeah.
into
It's super
play.
bright, get him.
Yes.
Yeah, it glowing.
Yeah, and everything just changed in the third act.
Yeah.
It was just too deep and you could tell that it's Joss Whedon, the comedy.
Yeah, Superman
when
just
Batman
was-
was on the ground, he was like, I think I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
It's like
That-
Honestly, I don't
That
like
is
that, but
just
that's
me.
just me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. well.
But
Look, for me as a Superman fan, it was kind of like, yes, take it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all the Batman
No,
fans who
no.
constantly beat you over the head
No,
with
no,
Batman
I
to beat
love
Superman
that
in a
summer.
fight.
Like, I have a draft of a status saved here.
Yeah.
It's like, I want Batman fans to come and tell me that Batman could beat Superman and I won.
No, that's
Right.
the point.
Yeah,
No, because
Yes.
so, okay, like,
Yes.
so again, I don't want to go back at Batman to talk about Batman and Superman 1 second. But that's one of the biggest goddamn problems with this. The idea of Batman and Superman fighting is nonsense, right? What it's supposed to be is Batman surviving Superman.
Ah!
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you can come up with clever ways of doing that. Right?
It's had a run in the comics where Joker like uses fear gas or uses Joker
On
gas on
Superman.
Superman
Yeah.
and all the league members, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And he had
not
Batman
familiar
had
with that.
contingency plans
Right.
in case
For everybody,
such an event,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And they had like a big fight with Superman. Superman mash up the
Yeah.
the big armor thing,
Yeah.
fly him up into the atmosphere. He was choking, but Batman had like a piece of kryptonite gum.
Right.
And he spit it in Superman's face, and he was like, people
Kryptonite
always
gum?
people always-
What?
It's not gum. It's like
It's
a
like,
capsule.
you know, like a capsule, like you have a cyanide
Sorry,
capsule.
yeah,
He
yeah.
had one in his teeth.
Yeah, and he chew it and he
bite
spit.
it
It's
and
like
spit
liquid,
it,
liquid
yeah.
form kryptonite.
Right,
And he was
right.
like, people always ask, who would win in a fight between me and Clark? The answer is no one.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're not supposed to be fighting anyway.
Right,
yeah.
No, but
Exactly.
If we fight,
even in the
nobody
Dark
wins.
Knight Returns and all, it wasn't just Clark versus
It was,
Bruce Wayne.
uh,
It was actually Oliver Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're bringing
And
in
that's the
Yeah.
difference, yeah.
Even like in Injustice.
Yeah.
And that's one of
They
the
had
biggest
to bring in. That's why I didn't like. That's why I like Injustice 1 and I do like Injustice 2.
Right.
Because Injustice 1, they had to bring Superman from the other
Yeah.
dimension.
What I like
and be
about Dark Knight Returns too is the fact that Superman acknowledges he could hear his heartbeat in the casket. He could have killed
Yeah.
him if
Yeah.
he wanted to,
Yeah.
and he's like, you know what?
It's Batman.
It's Bruce. I'm not gonna kill him,
Mhm.
right? So it equates everything for me in that moment. Like right now in the new Batman comics, they have
The
one
reboot.
different evil Batman. Yeah.
Right, as Sandra
And
read
the storyline where Batman kills Superman is pretty impressive because that Superman has gone insane, killed everybody, killed Lois. And what Batman does is, as he's all and Superman is saying, I could kill you in an instant. I could flick you and break you in
Yeah.
half. And Batman, what he does is he takes the Doomsday virus and injects himself with it in a last bit effort
Yeah.
and just kills Superman in that moment. But he ends up going insane
Yeah,
and wiping out everybody else as well.
Where's that?
Bad Doom, yeah.
That's Bat Doom.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Bad Doom, it have what is Aries where you put the Aries head.
My favorite is the Drowned, actually, which is Bryce Wayne, a female version of Bruce Wayne in her
What is like
world.
Bryce Wayne.
Yeah, all of them is from
Batman.
different
Yeah.
worlds,
there's-
and the
there's
Bat who
also
laughs.
The Batman who laughs.
Yeah, the Batman who laughs is the one bringing them together.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's going really well. But
And
I'm
one-
glad you enjoyed it, though.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like, yeah.
one of the scenes too that actually stood out was when Superman came back and he actually slowed down and he watched him flash like, where the fuck are you going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
Like,
great
That
moment.
scene had the cinema
Stroke
in
of
a
genius.
uproar
Yeah.
in a good way. People,
Yeah.
it just Ezra Miller sold it. The look on his
Yeah.
face when he
Yeah.
realized he could see me
Yeah.
Yeah.
is just priceless.
Mhm.
You know, and
All it took was an eye movement.
thank you.
And
That
that's it. Yeah, that
felt
was
very
it.
Whedon to me. I don't know
Yeah.
who did it, but it felt like something we'd know of.
So generally, I'm happy with it,
Right.
but I can't deny the missteps.
Yeah.
I think they reshoot everything with Superman except
They did.
it had one scene where you could tell it was Henry Cavill real lip because you
Right.
could see the stubble.
The thing is, I wasn't even studying his lip or his mustache at
Sometime
all.
down to the end of the film where he was
Right.
talking to Bruce at the end. And he
Right.
was spoke that was like that. But it looked like we didn't come in and he do over everything
Everything,
with
yeah.
Superman.
When he buy the bank, when he say he buy the bank,
Now this is where I point
Huh?
out.
when he bought the
Yeah,
bank, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is where I
That's
was
it. You could
pointing
tell that
out
was
something.
real.
That's
Yeah. Well, someone we could jump in. Well, let me
Well,
talk about your thoughts on the movie.
With all its flaws, it entertained me. It did what Batman v Superman failed to do. It was fun. It was entertaining, and more importantly, it gave me hope towards what could happen, what could be now that hopefully Snyder's out of the picture.
Yeah.
Because I was telling my boyfriend when it was ended, that is the most I saw Superman smile in 2 movies.
Yeah.
No, it's
Right?
true. That's the most he's been on screen.
It's the happiest he looked. It's the most alive. He even was charismatic when he was being quote unquote evil Superman. Because you know, the moments he had with them in that fight sequence, to me that's the best sequence in the movie. But the moments he had in that sequence, I just lit up. Because I was like, this is my Superman. And granted, it's flawed as hell. The CG is god awful.
Coloring.
I did like the scene where Flash pushes up Wonder Woman's sword. I
yeah.
felt it was
Yeah.
very Quicksilver-like. And ding, and it goes up. And I absolutely adored when he fell on her, how quickly he jumped
Yeah.
off when he realized
Yeah.
where he fell. Little moments like that work for me.
Yeah.
I do wish it was more cohesive. I really, as much as I've never had a problem with Ben Affleck, but he's not happy in this role and he's spoiling Batman Bruce Wayne for me.
Yeah.
I think we need to replace him or his attitude has to change.
Right.
You know, but overall, like I said, the post-credit scene gave me so much hope. Like, it redeemed a lot of the crap that came before. Because I got excited. I was like,
Yeah.
yes, let's
Actually
see what they're
excited
gonna do
for
with
a
this.
And it had
DCEU movie.
some good lines too. A handful of good
Yes.
lines. Yeah, you say it had bad line delivery, but it has
Yeah.
good lines. Okay, so
No,
two
no,
lines.
the line's there, you know.
Yeah.
Just the delivery.
The 2 lines are really like, you say save one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
a good moment.
Yes.
That is a good moment. Save
Yes,
one.
that's a
I
strong...
think I know where your
I
next
know
line is.
where you're going. Alright, so you say,
Right.
the world needs Superman.
Ah,
Yeah.
exactly. I
TV
love that
Yes.
whole.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Superman, the TV
That
star.
when
is-
Batman acknowledged that
Yes.
Superman more human than
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's an alien god with
Yeah,
superpowers,
and
but
still normal.
he had
This
a better
is
life
where-
than I
Yeah.
did. He
Right,
made
okay,
better
so
choices
that's
than
the
I
one thing.
did.
Okay, so that's
as
the
a
one thing I
human.
thought they would have touched upon a little more with Flash and Superman. Sorry, Flash and Batman. Flash and Batman is kind of the inversion of each other, right? Where Flash is a normal dude that has human, quote unquote, close to us. He's ours. He's our audience surrogate. But Flash Comics is some of the most insane bullshit as well.
Yeah.
It's by far the most insane stuff in all of DC universe. It's
So
like
it is.
really insane. What he could do with his powers.
He's
Yes.
basically overpowered.
It's really
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like what he could do and what this
I've
happened
actually
is
read
real.
articles that say Flash is the most powerful.
Yeah,
member
Flash
of
is
the Justice
ridiculous.
League.
However, in terms of and then Batman's the opposite. Batman have no powers. Yet his personality and his attitude towards the world is the most insane shit ever. It's like that's why I'm glad Lego Batman exists. Like it's like a
But Flash
real that
Rebirth, Flash Rebirth right now with Godspeed.
excellent.
Crazy
Excellent.
good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they were just gonna go and do Superman
I did
fighting
like
that
Flash.
kind of-
Granted, I didn't like the way he moved at all.
So okay, I like
the blue
this.
lightning kind of annoyed me too. I
Right.
really wanted the yellow lightning.
I liked a lot of that.
But
frankly.
actually, the blue lightning, that is his fastest speed.
Significant, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. There's a
Exactly. That's
significant
why it
difference.
shouldn't be
Storyline.
blue because he's not at his fastest right now.
Right.
Well, we're
Exactly.
giving it to Zack Snyder.
We can debate. Yeah, I find that's not a big problem for me, frankly.
One little
Now, but
thing
he should
about
evolve,
Flash.
though, when you
Right.
think
Yeah.
about it.
I ain't saying no, but the
One-
blue color thing, whatever.
One small thing that I really liked, one little touch, is the scratches on his from the movement
Yeah.
of maybe
Yeah.
like stones pinging off
Yeah.
of him and stuff. I thought that was a nice subtle touch.
Again, much of the Batman v Superman, he had the frustration is that you have people who are incredibly talented and know what they're doing with this
know about
material.
details
Yeah.
and everything.
Yes,
But they're just in the wrong
story
project.
kind of terrible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's a frustration.
Right.
Again, okay, so moving forward. Okay, so I'm gonna give my quick rating. I have my own weird ranking before.
Well, Wayne has to talk,
okay,
and then
I'll give my ranking. Shut up for a while, and then we'll talk about moving forward.
Sure.
I'm gonna give this a low CC8. Sorry, no, a low movie top.
Oh.
Low
Alright.
movie top. Still watchable, but you go see the movie top. Go IMAX and spend too much money on this. If you don't care that much. If you give a shit and you're a super nerd, go see the IMAX, whatever. Low movie top is the money I think you should spend on this. It have a lot of problems. In fact, it have a laundry list of problems, like death of 1,000 cuts kind of problems. But it have it heart in the right place. The tone was right. Sorry, look, this was Galactic Guardians for me. This was Super Friends for me. And look, going forward, you had to do some stuff, interesting stuff with it. Get silly, go Golden Age, go Silver Age with it. It don't make sense trying to be dark and serious business. Forget that. Them days done, it done. You failed.
I would say this too. With all its flaws, I still came out of there in my head with a score of like anywhere between 6.7 and 7 out of 10.
Right.
That's how
Right.
much fun I had with
Yeah,
the
you were
movie.
entertained.
And
Right.
for you to be able to pull that off with all those flaws, I had a good time. I can't lie and say I didn't have a good time.
And the thing is now, how long do we have to wait to actually see what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
What is Aquaman next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole 13 months from now.
Oh, another thing is, I was
Wait, Aquaman is
surprised
2019?
how good the Aquaman
December
underwater fight
6th.
scene was. I thought that would have looked much worse than
No,
it
yeah,
actually
yeah.
looked.
That
Because the movement of being underwater and
Right.
fighting is
Yeah.
very tricky.
Yeah.
And
Especially
I
after the
thought
criticisms of, it looked like
how
he
he was holding his breath.
in the
Yeah.
BS.
I was shocked how well they pulled that off. I really, it gave me hope for what Aquaman could look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Alright,
Well, Timothy, you wanna give your rating one time before we get to
He
Wayne?
said 8.
Well, you
said
give,
8
all right.
out of 10.
Okay, I forgot.
Yeah,
I
and
forgot.
this is my
Matthew,
number 3 for the year.
you wanna
This
give
is
Oh,
my-
you're number
yeah.
3 for the
Yeah,
year.
This
Okay.
is my
You wanna
number
give
6, but still, I did enjoy it.
You wanna
Okay.
give your rating before I go? Or?
No, I haven't said anything yet. I'm
Oh,
waiting
okay.
for you guys, and then I'm gonna talk.
No, I'll be quick. Because I kind of on the same page with Ricardo,
Right.
where it's a dumb film. Things I didn't like about it. First act, hate the first act.
Okay.
Every piece of dialogue is exposition. Every piece of dialogue is exposition. Batman stop a tug. He had a talk exposition. Alfred, he had a talk exposition with the tug.
Oh, yeah, you did that, yeah.
Wonder Woman having dialogue with somebody, exposition. Flash, exposition. Everybody's exposition, didn't like it. And then we get into the second act and we start getting character development. Another thing, movie was ugly. Real ugly. Atlantis supposed to be a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Oh, it
It
wasn't.
was
Oh,
muddy,
boy.
It was
dirty,
murky, yeah, I was saying that,
murky,
murky, it was
disgusting
very murky,
looking.
yeah.
I don't want to go Atlantis.
And that is Zack Snyder.
But yeah, I get a feeling it was like outside of Atlantis or like somewhere under.
Yeah, it didn't feel
But
like
it was
Atlantis.
very-
It
it was
just felt
very-
like underwater.
No, I
It
think
was
it was
where
outside
no,
of
it was where the
Atlantis.
Martha's box was.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I didn't get a feeling it was whatever. But still
on
it stayed.
Amazon,
It should have looked
It
like
doesn't
Asgard. When it
yeah,
should have
it
looked like
should
an
have.
underwater Asgard.
Themyscira in this movie didn't look like Themyscira.
True.
in
Actually,
Wonder Woman.
yeah.
Yeah, in the
Right.
opening, when they're singing, it didn't look at
Yeah,
It was Snyder's
The movie was ugly,
yeah.
right? Steppenwolf, terrible villain.
Yeah. Flat.
Because
We
you already,
didn't even talk about
you already
Yeah,
set
you know,
up,
you
I will,
You
but
already know what we're
continue.
talking about.
you set up 3 villains so far that were immense threats to humanity. Real destruction. And I have Steppenwolf that Superman could just batter around like a toy doll. I mean, like Superman show up, beat Steppenwolf, leave, come back, beat him again.
Yeah.
Right, Steppenwolf was like a big dummy, and then he get defeated by his own fear. Like, so this movie was real stupid, but have enough in it to like, to be entertained by. If I had to give it a scale rating, like somewhere anywhere between like 4.5 and 5, but that's just because I rate superhero movies low as,
Right,
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Like the highest I will go with a superhero movie is like a 7.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Logan break the scale and it's like a 8.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Logan and Dark Knight.
Dark Knight is like
Yeah.
9, almost 9.
Winter Soldier
Kinda
is my 10. Wonder
Nah,
Woman is my
no, Winter
9
Soldier
to
is-
10.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
so
it's
it's
like
like
this on the low end, but I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I could enjoy it. I could
Yeah,
watch it over.
yeah.
I want to watch it over just to see the
Yeah.
Superman scene.
I want to pause the battle that took place with the three, like with man gods and Atlanteans.
Yeah.
And the occasional.
I just want to
and
pause
one-
and
and
see
one Green Lantern.
because everything
That
else
one
is-
Green
yeah,
Lantern,
I love
yes.
mythology, you know what I mean? But look who won, yeah. So.
So yeah, Justice League was Justice League. I mean, I went in with real low expectations.
Right.
Right.
That's
And
important.
it surprised me that that I get some enjoyment.
Something out of it,
But I
right?
can't defend it as a good film.
Mm.
It has too much problems, it has
Yes.
too much pacing
Yeah.
issues, too much dialogue issues. I mean, some of the dialogue was cringy. The delivery again too was cringy. When he was evil Superman fighting the League and he was talking to Wonder Woman, I was like, this just sounding off. It's not sounding like Henry Cavill. I don't know if they do some ADR or something. It's real off. The delivery. The scene was real awesome, but again, so yeah, that was my thoughts.
I guess that's it. I got caught up in the scene. Plus, I love that he asked him,
Now,
"Do
when
you
I'm
bleed?"
thinking-
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just said, like, "Yes, take it back."
Don't forget, I am the person that like an act of a movie could ruin a movie.
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
So like that first act could take a lot for me to get over
Yes,
that.
yeah.
But that's why it's surprising that I didn't hate the movie because it had so much in it to pull out and like all the things that you all touch on with like Flash characterization.
I'm also hoping going forward I get more of a Erica Durant's Lois Lane and this mopey Lois Lane gets left behind. I really hope
Yeah,
they
sure.
boy,
It's
she
like-
Well,
is
she
part
gotta
of
be
this
more
whole
getting
universe.
Yeah,
Well.
I really hope they give us some balls because that is what Lois has always been.
Yeah.
Even with the original Marvel Kidder,
Right.
she say what you want about Marvel Kidder. She gave me a Lois with tenacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a great
You know,
Lois
and
Lane.
some real good
To
Lois.
be
Some
the
real
girlfriend
good
of
Lois.
Terry Hatcher?
Terry
think about it
Hatcher.
this way. A god basically fell in love with you, so there has to be something about you
Right.
that
That would
stands
stroke
out.
your ego a little bit.
Alright, Matthew. Yes, boss.
Now for my thoughts on Justice League, yo. Alright, so I have to compare this movie to two Marvel movies that came out. And don't worry, I'm not gonna spend a whole hour dissecting this movie and what was wrong and all that kind of stuff, right? Because for the most part I agree with you guys. I agree with what you guys said, right? But I'm gonna use two movies in particular, two Marvel movies that came out, right? I'm gonna use the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I'm gonna use Civil War as an example of what they should have done with Justice League. Now, one of the biggest flaws with Justice League here is that they had to pause this show to introduce characters and give them these little segments, right? But they never follow up on these. They never come true. They never have any closure. So let's just take Flash for example. First time we see him, he goes to what I assume is Iron Heights. Well, maybe not Iron Heights, but whatever, right? He talks to his dad. Dad talks to him. It's like, you can't be running so much in life, man. You gotta settle down. And then that arc ends where he goes back and sees his father and says, I got a job. Here you go. And that's it. And same thing with Cyborg. Like, we have this whole establishment with his father. You're literally pausing the show, the story, the real story, right?
Yeah.
To introduce these characters to an audience who have not seen them before, who have no idea who Cyborg is, or who Flash is, who Aquaman is, or why we should care. Alright, that's the one thing. The worst example of this, though, was in its intro, where you start off with Superman. And these two kids, and the dialogue from these kids sounds so dumb. Hey Superman, so what do you think about saving the world?
Yeah.
And what do you think about planet Earth? And it just stops. No resolution, no closure, no nothing. Now, I get that Superman is supposed to be technically the central character of the story. He's the reason, technically, why the Justice League become better and how they eventually stop Steppenwolf, right? I'm gonna bring up Guardians now, right? Central character of that was Star-Lord, right? Peter, right?
Yeah.
Because of what was going on.
Right.
Through his character, that's when the other members of the Guardians met up with him.
Right.
They didn't stop the show to say, hey, this is where Gamora came from. This is where Groot came from. This is where Rocket Raccoon came from. They just eventually met each other. They were in one spot. And then you have a moment where they kind of talk to each other about who they are and all that kind of stuff. So you get a little brief introduction as to who they are. But the film didn't stop to say, hey, this is where Groot came from. This is where Raccoon came from. Whatever it is, right? Now, same thing goes for Civil War. When they brought in Black Panther, they didn't stop to say, hey, this is where Wakanda is.
Yeah.
And he is the Prince of Wakanda.
Right.
Is his dad is in this UN meeting.
Yeah.
Father, son, this is what happened, and this is where the story more or less springs up now when the building explodes. Bring in the characters, yes, but have them work themselves into the story. And if your central character is Superman, or maybe it's not Superman, maybe it's Batman, then cool. Or maybe it's Wonder Woman, I'm not too sure. But you start off the movie with Superman, so I'm telling myself, oh well, Superman have a bigger role to play here. And this is another flaw that I have in the movie. Characters come and go. So, for a majority of the first act, we don't see Superman. And then, all of a sudden, now that you learn about the power of the mother box, you decide, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
What if we just what if we just dig up Clark's grave site and use the mother box on him, and maybe he will be back to normal and he'll help us stop Steppenwolf, which is an incredibly stupid idea in my opinion. But yes, when he came back to life and that whole scene with Justice League, I love that. That was great. But still, they could have come with a much plausible reason, I should say, in how they brought back Superman.
There's so many other ways they could have done that.
Yeah.
And look at the very end of BVS with the little bits of gravel rising up.
Rising.
Why they couldn't have just played on that? You know what I mean? Now that makes that whole end scene pointless. You know what I mean? They could have worked
They
that
could have
out a
opened the
lot
casket
better.
and he's gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're
So
doing,
many
as I
other
mentioned earlier, if you're doing
Yeah.
the Jesus allegory, you do an empty tomb thing.
Yeah. What else too? Just with the first act and then I'll round up. The way how the Amazons were brought in here. And by the way, the way how Themyscira looks is just a pale imitation of the cinematography that we saw in Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, let's just get out of the way. It just looked like a Snyder version of it. Even right down to the clothing that the Amazonians had. I thought you would have brought it up.
I didn't like that whole fight sequence actually because I couldn't see what was happening.
I didn't like
I
it
had,
either.
I had
Yeah.
a big issue with
Yeah.
that whole fight
Yeah.
sequence. It was too chaotic. I
Yeah.
hate that in your scene crap. That works for Born Identity. Don't do that in a movie like this. I need to see what's happening.
Yeah.
Look how well the fight choreography was in Wonder Woman.
Yes, and I was
very
expecting
similar
that, yeah.
Every single
situation.
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to see their skills, and basically what we were seeing is scene shut down, and I'm like, I'm blinking and I'm trying to
Yeah.
catch up on what's happening,
Oh.
and I'm not seeing it.
To me, what spoiled it was when you had the full cavalry of Amazons riding in to fight
Yeah.
Steppenwolf. I thought, yes, this is what I want to see now because mostly it was just Steppenwolf fighting off Amazon. And I was like, all right, but come on, now there's Amazons. They're really kicking more ass than this. And then when I see the full cavalry, it's like, yes, this is what I want to see. And then big
Yeah,
warp
but
thing and he's gone.
How about
because-
this? Where would they planning to go with the mother box? Where would they
Good
planning
points,
to go?
yeah.
They had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they would because they can't get off the island.
No.
It's
Yeah.
established
Where
they
would they go
cannot
in?
leave. So,
Yeah.
they
But here's the
just
thing, though.
So it's
run.
like they're just going to run in
Run in
circles
circles,
until
yeah.
Steppenwolf get
Yeah.
tired.
And then to make matters even worse now, after they send out the beacon to Diana to let them know about what's going on, that's the last we see of them. We don't know what happened afterwards. I'll get to that in a bit, right? So yes, the team is together, or at least the team is about to come together, right? Diana starts to talk about the war and all that kind of stuff against Steppenwolf and where Steppenwolf came from. And I swear to God, I was watching the first 5 minutes of Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, though. Like that whole narration. Steppenwolf came from here, and there's all the 3 mother boxes. If you put these 3 boxes together, and the way how it ended, though, where one mother box was given to the Amazons, next one was given to the Atlanteans. I was like watching Lord of the Rings again, like
And
really?
The humans look like if they were from Lord of the Rings who were buried.
Yeah. And one was given to the race of men. I was expecting to hear that line, but I didn't hear it, right?
Yeah.
But that trope is used often in movies
Yeah.
like that, yeah, where, okay, it's too powerful, we're going to break it in 3. Usually it's always 3.
Yeah.
One gets it, one gets it, and man ends up with one half of it. That's a very common trope, but
Yeah.
I was hoping,
Clumsy.
like you said, yes, and like you said, the 2 of you all together, more time and a more cohesive story would
Yes.
have been, okay, let's bring the Atlanteans, the Amazons, and
Yeah.
man together to fight Steppenwolf because he's such a threat.
I mean,
Exactly, that would have made sense.
Batman
Right.
could have been man.
Right,
That is
the
it.
man's army could
Yeah.
have been the hero's aspect
Yeah.
of it, I guess.
And the beauty
I
about
don't
it
know
all,
exactly 100% how it would work,
Yeah.
but I thought that is what they were going for.
Mhm.
That this is such a threat, Steppenwolf. Because I'm not exactly sure about Steppenwolf, but what is his times with Darkseid? What is his?
Okay,
Um,
so
that's-
That's his
sometimes.
uncle.
Please answer.
Yeah, right. So he's sometimes Darkseid uncle,
Sometimes, yeah.
Generally, they'll make him as quote unquote Darkseid's lieutenant. Not as
Yeah.
Right.
powerful as Darkseid, but so to be a
Okay, so Darkseid is supposed to be more powerful.
by
Yeah,
far,
by
like
far.
not
Yeah,
even close,
he is
like
more
by
powerful.
far. So to be really strong, this pong for pong is
Right.
that only Superman can beat him.
Yeah, but
Right.
Steppenwolf is his uncle.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
but he's a loyal lieutenant.
Right.
Right.
Change up below.
yeah. What else? When Superman came in, great moment. Once again, I just hate the fact that they had to use the mother box to bring him back. That was just dumb, right? And yes, the fight with them was cool. I love that and everything. But then once again, after he talks to Lois, he's not in the film until nearing the end. And I was hoping that they wasn't going to use him as this Deus Ex Machina, and in a way they kind of did.
Yep.
Like, you are part of the Justice League. Like, I know in the posters you don't see him, but in the second and third trailers he's there. But I felt that he could have had a bigger role in the team itself. That wasn't the point of it. Was the point of them saying the world needs Superman, and then they would have made the intro that we got with Superman. It would have made much more sense.
made it
Then. That's what I'm
relevant.
saying. More relevant. Show his role. If he is your character, your central character, then put him in
I
the
also
team.
had a huge question about two things.
Right.
I thought the return of Superman was handled very underwhelmingly by the people of Metropolis. They didn't seem to have any holy crap, he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do
Good
you
point, because
explain Clark being alive?
Yeah.
He had there was a funeral for Clark Kent.
That's a very good
And
point.
there's
That's a
actually
very
a
good point.
scene cut from the movie with that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
See his
and that
gravestone
confused the
Clark.
hell out of
Yeah,
me.
that's one thing, because in your title sequence for the movie, you're setting up that yes, Clark's loss really affected Metropolis. Now he's back. Now what? Nobody says anything.
There's no celebration.
nothing-
There's no headlines.
You don't even see
there's
you
nothing.
don't even see Lewis's news report.
No, they kind of hint at that when she was writing out the article again. But
Yeah, but that's as far as it
something
goes.
I thought it was a little tasteless, but it was kind of funny. Where they showed David Bowie Prince.
And
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
and
yes.
said all the aliens.
I was
and
like,
everything.
oh,
Actually
okay, I see what they
kinda
did there. I see what they did
liked it,
there.
yeah.
Little
But Prince is not no
Yeah.
freaking alien. Come on, come on.
Well,
David Bowie, yes, but,
Right,
but
right.
you know, whatever. I'll talk about that Steppenwolf boy.
you don't, because there's nothing to
Jeez.
talk about.
Yeah, like y'all didn't even want to mention. I'm not even going to spend
Yeah,
too much time on him
no.
because it isn't really much to talk
Yeah,
about
but-
with him anyway. Using Guardians again, using the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Yeah, that villain was kind of underwhelming, but at least he had a purpose,
Yeah,
he had
exactly.
a point.
Because, so people are telling me how Ronan was worse than
Right, Ronan.
Steppenwolf. I'm like, no.
No.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Ronan actually,
Yeah.
like, you understand where Ronan was coming from.
Yeah.
He had a
Exactly.
political
Kind of
motive.
purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steppenwolf was just flat.
Yeah.
They use the Ronan Thanos dynamic.
Yes, exactly,
Thanos,
exactly.
something.
You could have had Darkseid and Steppenwolf, so instead of you know,
Yeah, it's
as a
it's
parallel now to
comical
Ronan and
movie.
Thanos,
Because
right?
I
Because
even thought, well, not knowing much about it, I thought the whole forming of Unity was almost like they were opening a doorway to bring Darkseid through.
Right.
I
that
thought
is
the
what
same
they
thing
would have
too.
been
Any
going
comic,
for.
they just want to turn a planet into Darkseid planet. Into
Right.
a
for
cosmos.
Yes,
Darkseid.
yes, I know they
But they
turned-
could have
they
established
turned
that.
You don't
Maybe
need
they
to bring
did.
Darkseid across. It's just the idea. Just you want to turn all the planets like
Yeah.
that.
Well, maybe they
Right.
did. Maybe in the exposition,
Right.
in the many exposition scenes in this movie, maybe Steppenwolf did say something about that. By him say Darkseid name once.
Yes, he said his
Yeah,
name
and
once,
we
yeah.
don't see him.
And this movie committed one sin that Batman v Superman definitely committed. Man, still not so much because but Batman, these two films committed that scene where let's assuming that you know the shit.
That's the
Exactly.
thing. I was getting to that.
I
actually.
know
Not
the shit.
everybody.
Yeah.
I know the
90%
shit,
of
but
people
I
know.
waste my life on this bullshit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't have a life. I clearly know this bullshit. Not the rest of these people. It's like, no.
But that's the thing, though. But that's the
Yeah.
thing. But that's the thing. You're watching a movie. You're seeing an adaptation of source material. Whether I know about it or not doesn't matter. I want to see your interpretation of it. But I shouldn't have to think back to the 1997 Superman TV show to remember, wait, Steppenwolf was in that show?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to do that.
You gotta establish a character.
Yeah.
One of the things you're saying about how they would stop the movie to introduce a character. I remember there was a film, I'm trying to remember if it was one of the Spider-Man movies, I don't know if it was Amazing Spider-Man, that did a good job of just within the credits, the opening credits, they show you the origin of the character. They didn't do it in the movie.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
right.
And I think that could have worked here. You could have given us a long opening credits, kind of like a la Guardians of the Galaxy.
They did that in Incredible Hulk also.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And give us, okay, this is what happened with Flash. This is what happened with Cyborg. This is what happened. And then just start your movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you would have, if it's 2 hours you're working with, use your credits.
Yeah.
But along with stopping the movie too, anybody notice this one random family?
Yes.
In
Oh,
Russia.
I'll get to that.
Yeah.
I'll get to that. I'll
I'm
get to
just
that.
thinking, you
In
know,
Russia?
Yeah.
Siberia.
Yeah.
This thing's supposed to be such a huge threat and them survive.
When, not
Parody,
just that,
that's all
when
like the
the
windows
little
and it's
girl
like, what?
went into the cupboard, like you said, with Superman being the core of this, I thought she was gonna reach for like a Superman doll or something like that to hold on to feel
Well,
safe.
It's a bit corny.
No, but a
That's
tin of bug
She-
spray.
And
it
that's
was so
a
Yeah,
moment
that
of
was
humor.
worse, but like
That was like,
No, but at least it would have tied into the whole him coming back, and then you know maybe she would see him and be like, you know, oh my god, you know that
And
kind
when they
of
were
thing.
talking about the mother box and they say, well, one is for man. I was like, well, maybe they buried it under their house. That's why they're not leaving. Like in the first scene with them, I was like giving them the benefit. You know, like maybe they didn't tie into
It's so
that.
conveniently in a
Maybe that's where the last
reactor.
one is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
What?
what the party was looking for
Yeah,
in
because
that
that's where they
area.
come out from, you know, it's like-
Instead, they say they needed to pick a place with no internet.
Yeah.
Really?
But yeah,
Really?
but Steppenwolf was just a bad villain, though. It was generic, basic. We must do this, and talking in an accent. You know, it was just
Who
been
was
this
the
and that.
voice?
Oh, sorry.
Karen.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, I saw his name in the credits. I didn't know who he was. Right. On the subject of that family and you know the big threat and all that. Yeah, like you bring back Superman, so you're telling yourself, okay, well this is for the fate of the world, right? So you're bringing everybody, but you're concentrating on this one this one area and one family. So what about everybody else that was in the place?
So we
Right,
saw
yeah.
Like
Superman.
now I
Yeah.
get probably they don't want to
Superman
do.
fly with the entire
Yeah.
apartment building.
Right. Now I get that probably they don't want to do Age of Ultron thing with an Eastern European country,
Right.
a bunch of people dying. Okay, fine, no problem. But you want to raise the stakes though, but all you're showing me is one family and one girl who's hiding underneath a table. And I'm supposed to be like, holy shit, oh my god, the
Yeah.
team must
I think
survive.
they're so terrified of the backlash they got after the whole debacle of Superman fighting
Metropolis.
Zod and destroying Metropolis, and fans in the cinema like, did they just murder millions of people?
Yeah.
To like, okay, we're going to an area where we are
Limited amount of
establishing
people, yeah.
there's only a limited amount of people living here.
And
So
it's still saving them.
and we're still saving them, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And last thing in terms of flaws, I mean there's so much, but we only have so much time. I didn't really feel like tension or infighting within the group, especially with the
Yes.
fact that you brought
That
back
is up, yeah.
Superman. Like, let's just say Guardians again. There were moments where the team were struggling to get along, and it wasn't just because the film told them that they had to pick and fight. It's because of their own flaws themselves.
Issues,
yeah.
And you touch on Wonder Woman's flaws, you touch on Batman's. Superman not really so much, it's just that he come back and but
yeah,
they
we
just
did
didn't
have
really
that
answer the
moment
question.
where
Diana shot
Bruce was
Bruce.
being an asshole about the whole Steve
Yeah.
Trevor
Yeah, yeah.
thing, and
That was a great moment
yeah, when
actually.
she
Like,
shoved him,
That was
I
one of
was
the
like,
better moments of the
did he
movie.
just break like 4 ribs? Because
Yeah.
that was a pretty excessive shove, you know.
Yeah.
But I just want to address in my review too, because you need to see how they come together,
Yeah.
so that you will be
Yeah.
attached to them.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that at all. Just that one
Right.
scene with Diana and Bruce.
Yeah, as they say that too, the way how the team comes together though,
It's
sloppy.
Too, it's too quick.
Sloppy.
It's too quick.
Especially how Aquaman comes and I was like,
Yeah.
where you come from?
It works much better in the cartoon.
They cut a lot.
Because
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
cartoon, Aquaman wants nothing to do with them. He couldn't give a crap if Earth blew up, and it took a lot to convince him that you have to help them.
And he took that out of it because they told you that he actually told Bruce no in the beginning. And
because
that's
he
just not
struggles with the whole half-human thing a lot in the early parts of it, you know, and they just kind of touch on it with Mira for a second, but they more make it seem like he hates Atlantis than he does Earth, you know.
Right. I didn't feel like there was a moment where somebody in the team could die or something bad could happen to them, life-threatening.
Yeah.
It was just that, okay, they're doing good, they fight the parademons, they're getting their ass kicked. But we all waited for Superman because we haven't seen him up until this point.
Right.
So you know eventually he's going to come and save the day, which he does. And I like how the other team members kind of support him, but still, I didn't feel as if like, oh shit, well if they don't do this, they could die. Like in the first Guardians movie, there was moments where, like especially when they're holding the Infinity Stone, like, oh shit, they could die if they keep holding on. Civil War, same thing.
I will say this. I got a bit of that with Cyborg. And when he had to kind of, they didn't go with it where they should. They kind of just tapped the ball instead of hitting it out of the park. But they did touch on the fact that Cyborg was somehow connected with the Mother Box.
Right.
And I was waiting for them to get to the point where he would go evil.
Well,
I was,
I
was waiting for the payoff. I honestly thought it was going to come to that because Aquaman also kind of like, we don't even know if we could trust you. Because you're part of that thing. That thing made you. And I was hoping they were like, okay, we're going to get maybe Cyborg going rogue. Especially when he attacked Superman for apparently no reason. They kept hinting to him going that way. And when he was connected to the box, I thought, okay, it's going to corrupt him. And they're going to have to deal with that plus Steppenwolf. You know, and find some way to reverse it. They never. It's almost like they're afraid. Like, they're like, you know, we have this idea. But
that's the thing, They have a lot of ideas, but I don't know, probably they're just afraid of how to execute it. Maybe they just don't want to, you know, shit the bed like what they did with BVS. You know, they want to displease the fans and all that kind of stuff. However, positives, I would admit that the movie was fun. I like that they attempted at being fun, and for the most part, I felt that it worked. The chemistry works for the most part, not perfectly, but it works well enough. I love the banter between, say, you know, characters like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Batman, you know, the major players. Cyborg kind of at times like he was like real morose, and you know, but I got where he was coming from with it. I love the fact that he actually worked with the team as well, instead of just being like, I'm just a loner or all that kind of stuff. That he did help out. Flash was decent as well. Some of his jokes didn't land that much, but oftentimes he did crack some really great jokes. I like that he brought that humor. Aquaman I was worried about, but I thought for the most part he was like entertaining to see on screen.
Honestly, he was the least I was worried about, because I found that, to me personally, 90% of what he did worked for me. I never felt like Aquaman was an issue for me in that movie.
But once again, he's a dude from Atlantis who talks to fish. I know he doesn't do that, but still.
That's the water talks to the fish.
That's the stereotype. That's the stereotype, right? So the team themselves work together. But you know, like I said before, because the start of the show with Superman, I felt that Superman could have had a bigger role to play in the team itself. But you know, apart from all that, though, I would admit, yes, it is fun. There are some entertaining moments of humor. Some upbeat moments that, you know, this DCEU franchise needed for a long period of time. I'm not even gonna mention Suicide Squad. Forget that shit. But overall, though, what I would say is that the editing of this really hurts this film a lot. Though you can't see it. This could have been like a half hour, an hour longer than what we got here. Yeah. But somehow, for some weird reason, I just have this feeling, just in my gut, that the stuff that were cut out probably would not make that much of a difference to the story. But in terms of like the enjoyment factor, I think it would have made it a lot better, in my opinion. But for what it's worth, this is a step in the right direction. I'm glad that Warner and DC is like, all right, let me just lighten up a little bit. Maybe just stop with the apocalyptic shit for once. Maybe just have fun, because it's the Justice League, man. Come on, let me bring back that Saturday morning cartoon vibe. You know what I mean? And they did it, but still, I felt that it could have been much better than what we got here. I don't know if the extended cut will be anything different. I don't know, but yeah, for what it is, though, I will still give this a very light 3 out of 5 stars. It's art. It's worth checking out on the big screen. You'll have fun. You'll laugh. You'll cheer. You'll love that moment with Superman. Believe me, you will. But still, if you're looking for something like that will equal Guardians of the Galaxy or Civil War or anything that Marvel has come out recently, you're gonna be disappointed by this. But yeah, light 3, not the best thing in the world, but yeah, far from the worst. That's all I have to say.
Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the Bears, Beats, and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care, peace.